Hey, happy day 793 of What's She Up To Now, documenting the journey of my transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world. Started it obviously 793 days ago, really probably 793 days plus 6 months ago, I started that transition. And my original objective was to duplicate my offline success online. Now, I haven't achieved the same goals and things that I did offline, because I did some pretty cool things offline in the real world, the real brick and mortar business world, and the corporate world, corporate America world. And so I have not personally, and that's my goal, is for me to personally duplicate a similar level of success online. Now, might actually do it this year, given everything that's going on in the world, in the environment, in the economy right now, because the online world is the world that's really clicking along. Now, there's a lot of offline industries that are just flying right now and are really, really big and growing, and some of them artificially because of all the craziness that's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic, but others are really, really struggling. We are in for a historic and monumental change in our world and our way of being and living that I don't think probably any of us have seen in our lifetime, unless you're, of course, over 100 years old, and then, you know, who knows how aware we are of that change and that dramatic change that we're going through. And guess what? We're all going to get through it. We will all be fine. We'll all get on the other side of it. But I called this one today another challenge. Really? Come on. Because I am coming to the end of the live challenge workshop. It really ends today, but I'm going to do a bonus day tomorrow as well. And then I am also starting tomorrow another challenge, a 30-day challenge, a get up and go challenge. I thought about it. I think I dreamt it up yesterday, and I'm like, I got to do a 30-day challenge, since we're all locked down for the most part in this country, and not all, I mean a very large percentage of the population, for another 30 days, the entire month of April, you know, and most of the month of March we've been out of sorts and in, I want to say, discombobulated. The only word I can think of to describe the way a lot of us are feeling is just plain discombobulated. We're not necessarily negatively out of sorts, we're just off what we're used to be doing. And our whole routines, our whole life, you know, the way we mapped out our lives, the way we live our daily habits and our daily lives is just up in the air and all over the place. And so discombobulated is actually a really good word to describe that. Now, how do you get undiscombobulated and move toward what it is that you want, no matter what's going on around you? And that's what the Get Up and Go challenge is going to be about. It's going to start tomorrow, and I am today going to map out, as part of the live challenge workshop, exactly how I am going to do that challenge, what I'm going to do, how I map out my challenges, what I do, and how I decide. Just kind of as a bonus for the people that have been doing that challenge with me. Kind of a behind the scenes look at, hey, this is what I really do to pull off a challenge. Some people show little bits and pieces of it, but I'm going to show you the whole thing. And maybe I'll even do, probably wait till the weekend when I don't have my granddaughter, but I'll do a live, maybe on live stream walkthrough of exactly how I do and set up all the different pieces and components. It's not really a lot. I mean, people like to get you to believe that this is so hard and so complicated you can't possibly figure it out. It's like writing a book or creating a course or doing anything online. There's a whole slew of marketers that are trying to sell you how complicated and horrible and tough it is, but if you buy their 7-step process, boom, you'll be successful overnight. So there's so much of that for every aspect of absolutely everything that you do online. It's kind of nauseating, and it's important to be able to cut through all the clutter and all the nonsense and go to really what you need, because each of us come in needing something different, but it's always it's always less complicated than the expert make it look like when they're online selling or marketing their products and services to you. And I just kind of always has irked me about the online world and the online industry and the internet marketing, they call it. I love the industry. I think it's fantastic. It's an incredible leveler. The internet and technology has made it possible for anyone, really literally almost anyone, if you can get access to the internet, the opportunity to make money online and be successful. Now, will most people? No, it's just like anything else. The vast majority of people will try something, they'll dabble, and they won't succeed. And it isn't because they can't, it's because they will choose to quit somewhere along the way. It's, inherent in us as human beings. We will try things a certain number of times, whatever our tolerance is, and then we'll quit. We'll stop trying and we'll try something else. It's why, any area, any field, any industry, any endeavor, there's a few people that are masters of it and the leaders of that industry or that field. Think of Olympians, right? All of the things that someone has to go through to be an Olympic athlete. There's only a small percentage of the population that, number one, has the talent and the natural ability, but then that really has the commitment and the drive to continue to develop and master and hone that skill and that ability to the point of being an Olympian, right? An Olympic champion. That people dedicate the time and energy of their entire lives to becoming that thing. Same with, there's only a small percentage of people that become professional athletes, famous actors and actresses. It's not a numbers game. I hate that expression, but it is the reality of the law of, all the different natural laws, right? We get out of life what we put into it. If we're willing to put in the time and the effort to master and become the absolute best that we can possibly be at something, then we will rise to the top just like they do. And that is a personal choice and commitment. And the vast majority of people won't ever make that level of commitment. I'm the same way. There are businesses and things in my life that I've gone all in on, and I've made the commitment, and I've sacrificed my health. And I hate the word sacrifice too. I have chosen and made a priority certain areas of my life over others, and because of that, those other areas of my life suffered, but I still achieved the thing that I wanted in that area that I focused on. I'm talking businesses and money over health and relationships and things, and I'm not necessarily proud of that, but it's what I did in the past, and I learned some very hard lessons from making choices that I thought were right for me at the time, but actually weren't right for me at the time. In all areas and aspects of my life, health, wealth, and relationships, all and actual, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, with relationships, contribution, and financial. I've had, highs and lows in every single area and aspect of my life, as I'm sure you have as well. So I'm going to start another challenge tomorrow, and it's going to be the Get Up and Go challenge. And I have not even, because I'm going to do the process with people live and in person, decided exactly what the framework of that's going to be like and what all it's going to include. But so many people I'm hearing and they're telling me, are just in shock still and frozen in place and not knowing what to do. So instead of using this time as like the gift that it can be to actually really supercharge and jumpstart the direction you want your life to go, a lot of people are just in limbo and frozen and thrown out of their routine, and just they haven't filled that routine with something that will move them forward. They're just going through the motions, getting up, eating breakfast, gaining weight, hanging around the house, not doing much of anything. And God forbid, watching the news or, just vegging out on Netflix or something. Now, there's cool things on Netflix. There's cool things on YouTube you can use to learn and grow and make yourself a better person. But there's also a whole lot of stuff. God, I watched something the other day, and I remember thinking as it got over, I'm like, I just lost 2 hours of my life and I can't get it back. And I don't want you to spend the next month, if you're out of work and you're struggling anyway, doing something like that and coming to the end of the month and saying, oh, thank God I get to go back to work and back to what I was doing before. It's a little different, but it's a lot the same, and being in the same position. Now, if you were happy and awesome in that and your life was amazing, awesome, good, more power to you. But if you're going back to something and some place and some situation where you weren't happy in any area or aspect of your life, this is the time to change that. This is actually the huge opportunity and time to change that. And even though it doesn't always feel like an opportunity, guess what? Everything that happens to us is pretty much, it's neutral, and it's how we respond to it that will determine our outcome from the situation. And it's not always based on our past, but our past and our past experiences will have a lot to do with how we react and how we respond to things. And we can use that as an excuse, or we can use that as a lesson that we learn, and we say, okay, well, when bad things have happened to me in the past, this is how I've responded, and guess what? I've actually made it worse. Or when bad things have happened to me in the past, I've responded this way and made things worse, and guess what? I don't want to do that this time. What can I see and learn from the past and do differently in this challenging situation to catapult me in the direction I want to go, instead of leaving me in limbo or actually sending me backwards? So that's what the Get Up and Go challenge is going to be about. What else have I got going on? Fun challenge today was drawing our right hand, a portrait of our right hand, and I was reminded once again of my inability to even sketch a simple drawing. Now, if the page was bigger, I would have traced my hand, no problem, but it wasn't, so I had to make a little bitty model, and I ended up with my ring finger longer than my I call this my naughty finger. It's not really a naughty finger. Poor finger. This finger is so crooked and so discombobulated. I've had arthritis for, 40 years, and so my hands, they've been through the ringer. But the trick with that is keep them moving. You got to keep everything moving to keep it going and keep yourself going. Just like we need to keep moving through this challenging time. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask in the comments below. We talked about needing something like a hole in the head for the Supersize Your Business, and well, actually Save Your Business these days, group and page, and it's interesting. It's not that old an expression. It's just from the 1940s, and of course it means that you don't need something at all. And a lot of people are looking at this pandemic and saying, I don't need this at all. I didn't need my business to be shut down. I didn't need my job to be gone for a month and a half. I didn't need any of this. And we're of course right. We're absolutely positively right. And as challenging as it is, we'll get through this. We'll all get through it together. And I guarantee that on the other side of this, we all have the opportunity to be better. We have the opportunity to be better human beings. We have the opportunity to be better friends, better neighbors, better people in general, better whatever our role was, better moms, better grandmas, better everything. But it's up to each and every one of us to choose that we're going to be better, to choose that we're going to let this change us in positive ways, not negative ways. And we do that by getting up and going. We do that by finding ways to create new routines, new habits, new good habits that support us and move us in the direction we want our life to go. I was thinking about this morning as I woke up, I got to find more creative ways to get moving and get exercise. I have personally got to find better ways of eating and consuming and making sure I'm taking my vitamins on time and doing the things that have always been good habits to me. I need to continue to do the things that serve me and not fall into the trap of using this pandemic as an excuse for not doing the things that I know are good for me. And some of those things we don't have control over right now, but we can creatively find ways to continue to connect with people and to continue to do the right things and do the things that are benefiting us and the world around us. That's it. That's all I've got today. Have an amazing day. Again, if I can help you in any way, ask. Just ask. If I can't, I will steer you toward the resource of the person or the thing that can. But if I can help you, I will do that to the best of my ability, because that's how I can serve and how I can contribute and help you and all of us make the world a better place. All right, take care. I'll catch you tomorrow.